So you probably want to show the encounter setup.
Yeah.
Do we want to introduce everybody here, or how do we want to do that?
Dude, just do it super candid. I'm just gonna edit what we need to, and
we can introduce.
It's not that big of a deal. Yeah. Well, so this is our adventure book. In the adventure book, you can see, excuse the glare, but you have your basic setup, the intro text people are supposed to read across the top, figures, tiles, different pieces that you're supposed to use. We've set it up on the table right here. The wonderful Paul Figgins is the guy who painted our miniatures. He couldn't make it today, but we're going to be playing with painted heroes. So, Alex, why don't you show us your build and tell you. I have no idea what you even picked. Let's see.
Well, okay. I think we're gonna explain what we're doing at our turn.
Okay. Did you want to
We
show?
sort of had a plan. I don't know.
We were gonna talk about builds when it was like.
Yeah, like not go. We were just gonna like set up the encounter, start playing, and then explain as we.
As the initiative.
We'll start
as it goes.
Then go.
So,
I'm just gonna film. You guys do whatever you want to do.
Okay. So basically, we've set up this encounter called Rumble in the Dark. You'll have the encounter set up here in your adventure book, and as you can see, maybe you can show.
I'm filming right now, dude. It's happening.
All right, let's hear that intro text.
Okay.
I want to hear your sultry voice.
How strong is that microphone? How strong is the microphone?
I don't know. It's an iPhone, dude. It's cost me like $900. It better be good.
Okay, so you come upon another animate staring at you from beyond a chasm. It looks like it might try to jump across to reach you. To your left, you hear a raging current of water rushing through an aqueduct of sorts. As you peer through the stone sculptures lining the way, you catch glimpses of Waterloo playfully splashing, unaware of your presence. You see a path that leads deeper into the vaults, but the direct path to your destination is cut off by pits. So we've got the initiative cards for all of the combatants and adventurers in the encounter. We're going to shuffle them. Lay them out. This will be the order in which everything activates. So,
oh man, I got
Rook's first.
Yeah. All about Rook being first.
Okay.
So what's the win condition in this scenario?
So the win condition in this scenario.
Yeah.
An adventurer ends their turn on the blue exit. The blue condition, all adventurers are defeated.
So the blue exit.
So we're trying to get to the exit here.
Okay.
That's really our only goal here.
And there are a few special encounter rules that we need to be aware of.
Yeah, so perilous walkway, so these two special terrain tiles, highlighted in orange. When a figure ends their movement on or leaves a special terrain space printed on tile UM66, which is this one, they must make an agility 10 check. If they fail, the space becomes dangerous terrain.
So it'll crumble.
Yeah. Place a dangerous terrain token on the space.
Okay, so bad guys have to do that too, right?
They do.
All right.
Yep. Bad guys, because they don't have an innate agility, they'll roll the black die. If they roll a skull, they fail.
All right.
All other face of the die will survive.
I'll pass. All right.
And then the other special encounter roll, slow currents. So we have a river running through the tiles that, if you want to show it here, you can see arrows that run this way.
Okay.
So this way.
So
these currents move figures and tokens one space in the direction of those arrows. So if any of us were to end our turn in one of these spaces, we would then, at the end of our turn, move one space toward.
So you could be swept off the side here to this perilous.
Yep. Exactly.
And removed from the encounter.
The other, so we have an objective here, an objective token.
Okay.
As soon as an adventurer enters tile UM44, this tile, read the following hidden text. So we have a bunch of hidden text here. We don't know what that is at the beginning.
All right.
We will find out when we enter that space. So.
Got a little decoder thing.
Yeah, we have
a little janky.
It's kind of janky. This isn't representative of what backers will receive, but this is what we're using for now.
Okay.
Also, the dice are prototyped as well. So.
Yeah, they're like metal dice.
Yeah, these are metal. The ones in the game are actually plastic.
Yeah, buddy.
So. Now we can begin. So Rook is first.
All right,
Who's first? Rook?
Yep, I'm playing Rook. And with Rook, I've chosen to do a kind of a ranged build. It's got using a hand crossbow and a light shield. And what's nice about a shield is that it can take the attributes of whatever the other equipment is on your hand. And I'll be using Trick Shot, which allows me to every turn exhaust the card to make an attack at +1 of the roll and -2 physical damage. So I'll be able to hit more often, but I might not be doing as much damage. But it is essentially a free attack I can do every turn, just simply
On top of your normal.
on top of my normal action points. So
Okay.
pretty happy about that.
You also got a plank there.
Yeah, I got
Ubiquitous
a
plank.
A ubiquitous plank. Yep.
That's cool.
You'll see that in action pretty soon. So,
Right.
Everyone starts with 3 action points. So, but during the first turn of the game, you don't gain additional action points because everyone starts with 3. So I'll be spending
Well, they're actually called stamina points. But,
stamina points. Yeah, sorry. Stamina points.
Start over. Start the whole video over, guys.
Yeah, I'm starting the whole video over.
Okay.
All right, so I'll be spending 1 stamina point to move, and I can move. So I'll be moving.
Sorry,
my speed is 6, or my movement is 6, so I can move. That's 1 space to move into this zone because they're friendly. I can move into the zone. I just can't end my movement here. And then I will move out of the zone, but it costs 2. It costs an additional movement point. So I've spent 3 of my 6 movement points, and then I will move 4, 5, 6. And I'm going to move right there and use my ubiquitous plank.
Oh, here's the plank.
Just
Already in action.
immediately, yes. So this one says you may do one of these. Deal a purple of physical damage to an adjacent opponent. There's no opponents adjacent to me, so I'm not going to do that. But what I will do is place a plank token on an adjacent space. This token replaces all terrain types except obstructing terrain.
Oh, okay. So you're gonna.
So that
I've actually
gap,
never seen anyone use the plank token here. This
the
level.
gap is no longer a gap.
Nice. So then you have to run all the way around this
Yeah,
to try to get to that animate. Sweet.
no longer have to do that because that sucks.
That does suck.
the
Yeah.
light does.
Okay.
Alright.
All right.
So next I'll use my Trick Shot, so I'll exhaust this card. And then I will be rolling my 2 combat dice, which I gain from my hand crossbow and my light shield, which is 2 purple dice.
Let's take a look at that real quick so you guys can see.
Yep, so purple and a purple. And I can use these 2 together to make a ranged attack because of those 2 symbols there.
Okay.
And the shield special ability. So
You got 2 purple dice.
I got 2 purple dice. I'm rolling against an animate over there. His defense is
See
10.
that card. Macaroni.
There's his defense. So he's got to get a 10 or higher to hit.
Defense is right there.
He does have 2 armor though, so we'll see what
Okay.
happens.
And because I'm using Trick Shot, my roll will be at +1. So
Alright.
whatever I roll, well,
Looks like a bad roll.
that's a bad roll.
Rough
All right,
roll.
so that was 6, which is not equal 10. So unfortunate. But I'll spend.
So you whiffed it.
I whiffed. I'll spend 2 more action points to just make a standard
Stamina
attack.
points.
Okay.
Stamina points. Sorry. Got problems here. All right, and I missed again. So
Wah, wah, wah.
that's my turn. Couple attacks and a miss.
Oh, I can zoom with this. I've never filmed it on. All right.
All right.
All right, I'm up.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm playing Zeke. I went with just sort of kind of a melee build. I'm trying to DPS here. I went with the Cruar. I really like this set of abilities. It's a lot of damage, coupled with a little bit of extra kind of effects. This one allows me to inflict darkness. If it works, it's real great.
Using a long sword and a dagger.
Yep, longsword and a dagger. A little bit of backstab, so if we can corner somebody. Yeah, a lot of this is a heavy dodge too.
Okay.
I know this is somewhat similar to what Alex likes to run. So I'm going to try to attack this guy as well, spending an SP to move, since I start the game inside of some rough terrain there.
Swing around here. You're left-handed.
I'm going to...
Can you see it?
Yeah.
So that if any space that's surrounded by green, a green dotted line is called hindering terrain. which costs 2 movement points to move out of, but also
So just like friendly.
just like a friendly character. Also, enemies that are attacking you while you're in hindering.
Defense buff.
Yeah,
Add +1 to your defense.
yeah, you add +1 to your defense when they roll against you.
Wonderful. All right.
All right, so I've got a speed of 6. It's going to cost me 2 to move out of here. So let's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6.
Okay. So diagonal is adjacent, right? So you can still
Yep. So Zeke is adjacent.
attack him with a melee attack.
Yep. So I'm going to use my 2 stamina points to try and up my damage with Imbued Fear. Because I have this combination of a light weapon with my longsword, I have a little bit of a tune-up here with the dice. So the orange dice is significantly better than the white. And the combination should hopefully pay off.
Yeah, we'll see. We're off to a bad start. Hopefully the anime kills all you guys. That'd be a fun video too.
Yeah. Yeah. Start.
He probably will.
So that'll miss.
What'd you roll?
I rolled an 8.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna have this
Has begun.
flip effect. I'm gonna try using this right now.
What does that do?
If I can flip it and re-roll any of my dice.
Wonderful. Okay.
So I'm gonna re-roll both of these.
And you want to keep the 6?
Probably want to keep the 6.
You're probably right. So I need a 4.
Come on, big money.
There we go.
Oh, yeah.
So that's an amazing roll. All right, so his defense is 10, and I've rolled a 14, so I am 4 over his defense.
He's got 2 armor.
He's got
so
2
that negates
armor.
2 of the damage.
So I've got 2 damage that I've got in there. I've got some symbols here, so for every book and shield, I get +1 damage. That means I've got 2 extra damage. And because I used Imbued Fear, that gives me 2 more damage, so I've done 6 damage to this guy.
All right.
And that
To
is...
keep track of damage, we use damage tokens.
And since he's the red animate, that's where we're putting that.
Yeah, so you got the little red clip there. Now, just we've been playing for so long that we have all this complex math, and we just slam it out. You want to go over exactly how you determine how much damage that was for me?
Sure. So I rolled a 14, so we use the base numbers, compare it to his defense. So 14 is certainly higher than 10.
So you hit.
So I hit, and I'm
Over by 4.
over by 4. So that transfers directly into damage, unless they have armor. That will reduce how much damage gets transferred over.
So that over
Brings
by
it
4,
Back
minus
down,
2.
back down by 2. So I'm doing 2 damage.
Okay.
Different weapon qualities can have different little damage buffs or damage attributes here, I guess. So in this case, I've got a book and a shield. So for every book and shield on my dice, I get 1 more damage.
So in this case, 2 more damage.
So 2 more damage. And then, because I used Imbued Fear, it gives me +2 physical damage.
So 6 total.
6 total.
Perfect.
Now, because I used Imbued Fear, you can look at that if you want, I get to try to darken this guy.
All right there. So FU, Inflicted Darkness, spell 6 plus casting.
FU mean follow-up.
F you, dude.
All right.
All right,
So the
let's-
red animate has 6 damage.
So,
And we're going to see if he is
no.
inflicted with darkness.
7.
roll a
is the
7.
roll. 6 plus that 1.
So now he gets to use his conviction, which is.
So to keep up with everybody, the spell 6 plus
So it's
casting. His casting dice is a purple dice.
which is terrible.
The base dice, you can see, is printed right there on Zeke. He has no equipment that makes this dice better.
Nope.
So he rolls it, and he only rolled a 1. And he's adding that, so 6 plus his casting roll is going to give him a 7. So now the animate has to do a check, a conviction check here, using these 2 dice, and if he rolls at least a 7,
Roll really
he
low.
will not be inflicted with darkness.
Yeah, he's not.
And
So he rolled an 11.
he rolled an
so
11, so he is not inflicted with
He
darkness.
passed the check.
That's all right. It's more of a sugar on top, cherry on top, some sort of confection.
Euphemism.
Yeah.
If darkness was to land on the animate,
Yeah, if he failed that check and he got inflicted with it.
darkness
Here's a darkness token.
makes a figure unable to dodge. It also minuses their defense by 1.
Yeah.
Makes them a little easier to hit.
Sweetheart on
Yeah, they're
this
easier to
side.
hit and they can't dodge your attacks. The animate doesn't dodge anyway, but some
The minus,
combatants do.
Yeah, the drop to defense is helpful. Because that just means it's more damage potentially.
Right.
Is that your turn?
That's it. That's all
All
I
right.
got.
Who's up next?
Me, Remy.
Remy. Rem dog.
So I'm playing Remy, and I'm going with a heavy weapon build. So I'm using the Warhammer.
Okay.
The printed dice on that are 2 whites and a black. So the black dice is 5 of the 6 sides have symbols printed on them, and 1 side has a skull. If you roll the skull while you attack, you miss. But I've coupled this weapon with Hammer Helm, which allows me to, when making a melee attack, if you have a 2-handed weapon equipped, which the Warhammer is, if you can see that 2-hand there,
Okay.
you may re-roll any dice in your combat pool. So it's good because you always risk when you have a black dice on your weapon of rolling that skull. This is a good way to negate that. You get that extra roll. So
Yeah, just in case you don't.
it also has
Roll
heavy.
6.
So the Warhammer has heavy. So heavy in our rule book reduces my movement by 2. So I
You're
have a
also
printed
not
movement of
affected-
6.
Affected by those currents, though. That's good.
Right, I can't be moved for any reason. So
You're a fatty.
I am. Remy's printed ability, her passive is natural flight. For 2 SP, Remy is gifted with wings that allow her to fly. Make a move action. Remy has flight for the duration of this movement. So I can fly over hindering terrain, over other figures. I won't provoke break attacks, meaning if I move across a space next to an opponent, they won't be able to attack me for free. It's a really good ability. It costs 2 SP, but I think I'm going to do that right now.
Okay.
Spend 2 SP to fly. And my movement's only 4 right now because of the heavy. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Right now I'm on Rook. I'm going to spend another SP to move 2 more. So I'm here now on the plank.
So why don't you go ahead and explain how you moved more with that
Okay.
extra SP?
So my initial movement of 2 with the flight was the 4 movement.
Okay.
You can spend additional SP to move an additional 2 spaces to up to as many SP as you have to spend. So
Okay. So you spent an additional SP to get an additional 2 spaces out
yeah,
there?
right.
So you're just sitting on that plank there.
I think this will, okay, I have a plan here for this animate. I think it'll work. Last time I played this encounter, it didn't work, just the way that
The way that
the rules work. But I'm going to try to use the per encounter ability printed on the Warhammer.
All right. So let's see it.
So per encounter, you can do this once per encounter. After you use it, there's a used token somewhere. You signify that you've used it by one of these used tokens.
All right.
So what it says is move all adjacent opponents 2 spaces away from you, spell 9. So I can use that right now. This animate will.
Okay.
Can I use it?
nope,
He won't. Can I push him that way?
nope.
Why?
Because
If there's 2 spaces he can move into, he's always going to move
Yes.
into the safe space.
Even if I'm pushing him?
You have to be right here.
So you'd have to be right here.
So you gotta wait for it.
It keeps happening. But I'm gonna wait. Okay, I'll wait. I'll just keep my movement there.
It'll happen.
All right.
It'll
Actually,
No, you're gonna.
no. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna use my bottle blessing. One of so there's 3 options you can do. You discard this at any time. An ally within SOI may do one of these. I can either heal 3, re-roll any dice you just rolled, or gain 1 SP. I'm gonna gain 1 SP.
You're going to use that
I'm gonna
SP.
spend that to move here.
All right.
So now I'm gonna.
And you're ignoring the.
Yeah, I'm not on this tile yet.
But no, you're ignoring. Normally, if you move.
Oh, because I'm
through-
still flying.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did this
Normally you
midair. It
provoke-
says
yeah.
at any time. You can only do this type of thing if it says at any time. So I'm midair and I just chugged the bottle
Red
blessing and
Bull.
I got another SP.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you're landing next to the animate, and you're going to swing
Okay,
your
now
warhammer.
I'm going to use my per encounter ability.
All right.
The animate's going to make a conviction check. It needs to beat a spell 9, so it'll roll its conviction dice of the. If you rolled a 5.
That's 6.
Okay.
6.
6. So he rolled a 6, which means he can be moved back 1 space, right?
2 spaces.
2 spaces.
So he'll fall into the pit and die.
Wonderful.
We don't get any loot, but.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, I killed
You
him.
do.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, you do.
That's best case scenario. Usually those guys are really hard.
Yeah.
We did play through the whole game a couple times with you not getting the loot.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
It was discouraging people.
Okay,
from
so I'm
feeling
gonna draw
awesome,
combatant
we
loot.
got-
So when you defeat an opponent, you draw from the combatant loot deck.
Oh yeah, sorry. So there's a loot deck over here.
Yeah,
Anytime you defeat an opponent, you draw from the loot to see what you get. So I guess the animate fell down into a pit and gold came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, they explode.
4
we get
gold, in
lots of
fact.
gold.
So Remy gained 7 gold.
7 gold. How
If
much
I-
is that? Oh, 7. It is
Yeah,
a 7. I thought
7.
it was a 4.
That's what's
Okay.
printed on the card.
Yeah,
If I were to die, I would lose. I would lose that gold. So
Any gold
any
you can,
combatant
yeah.
loot cards that people have on their card, if they are defeated, you lose that gold.
Yeah, you only gain the gold if they actually
Yeah.
survive the encounter, or it's in this example, escape via that blue exit. So, okay, wonderful. There you
Was that
go.
too cheesy for the playtest?
Nah,
There's another one coming.
there's another one.
No, that's a great like.
No, dude,
shows
sweet,
the-
man.
it shows the
Okay.
ability.
I mean, it works both
I thought it would
ways.
fail, but
It works both ways. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been tossed off cliffs too by monsters,
Yeah.
so it's not a big deal.
Yep.
Start over. Start over.
All right, so the Waterloo's up.
Okay.
All right. So
So yeah, the Waterloo is up over here.
this is what we got. So to start off the card, she's got this arcane ability, which means that it, and more. I think they're more androgynous, really, but
Okay. Whatever.
I don't know what a Waterloo is.
It,
Um,
she, her.
But they can only be damaged by books and stars. So whenever you roll an attack, you do have to hit her. But if you don't roll the right, if you just roll shields, for instance, it's
can
not a
look
good
at-
deal.
That's
There we
the
go.
other dice.
There we
That's
go.
the wrong dice too.
Where are you? Red dice. Am I just grabbing all the wrong dice?
No, the red's fine. I
Red's
think.
fine. Anyway, so I'd only on this dice I'd do a lot of damage. 1 damage here, for instance.
yeah. So you're basically rolling to hit. So you want to beat 9. Once you've beaten 9, you add up the books and shields on the 2 dice that you rolled, and that's your damage.
So basically, it doesn't matter how well you hit.
No,
it's
you
not going to
can-
convert into damage.
no.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, she soaks up damage well.
So Waterloos are hard to kill because of that.
Yep.
Do they suck up spells, or can spells just nuke them?
Spells can nuke
Spells
them.
can
But
nuke
they have
them.
a very good conviction.
Also,
Yeah.
throwing knives, any throwing abilities are very good against them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why don't we go through there? How turns kind of. You can briefly explain it. You don't need to go over each
Yeah,
one.
So she's also not affected by water terrain. She can move
So-
through it.
So her passive abilities are up here,
Yep.
and and those are her 2 passive abilities, H2O and Arcane. And then down here, when you're going, you can explain that in a minute.
Yeah. Just to finish off the passive, she can never leave water, at least willfully. If she happens to fall out of water, she'll make a beeline to it as best she can. And then here's sort of her abilities and what happens when. So you start at the top and you try to satisfy what's happening. We're going to start with this one. If we're going to see if there's any figures within SOI that have an effect. There are not. Her SOI is a distance of 4 in any direction from her spot.
And that's just SOI, right?
That's just SOI,
Everything,
yeah.
every SOI is that.
Her sphere of influence, if you will. So since that doesn't happen, we just continue down per the instructions here. Is there more than one opponent adjacent to her? There are no opponents adjacent to her, so we will also continue down from there. Is there an opponent within SOI? Fortunately, there is not. Again, there's 4 spaces. So the last part on her card is what she'll do in this case. She can move an attack, or can she move an attack, an opponent within range 6? She certainly can. She can move up to be up to range 6 from somebody, and in this case it'll be Remy here.
So she's already 6 spaces away from me.
So then
if you're
she's-
counting diagonally,
She's gonna
so
stay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So
So she's already at range 6.
So she's at range 6 from me.
Where's that other purple
and
dice?
in line of sight, so she's just going to attack from there.
She's gonna attack from here because these are big pits and there's nothing else blocking.
Okay, so at this step, at this phase in the attack, I can actually choose to dodge. So I can spend 1 SP, it's a standard action. I can choose to dodge an attack. So now that we've determined that the Waterloo is going to attack me,
Do you have
I
a
will-
speed to spend?
I did have 1
You
hit.
did, yeah. I
Okay.
had one SP.
Did I? I
No,
didn't.
you
Never
didn't.
did. I didn't.
No.
have. Never mind.
You could have.
I could have. Okay, I might as well explain it why I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah.
So if you do have the SP to spend, when it's determined that you are the target.
Yeah.
You can spend less.
All right.
So we had a memory issue, but we're back, and I was explaining dodge. So if I have SP to spend and I'm attacked by an opponent, I may choose to spend 1 SP to dodge, and what that would mean is that I would roll the black die. Basically, shields give me +1 defense. The skull means
Nothing.
nothing,
You fail.
and the books also mean nothing. So if I dodged and I rolled the skull, I essentially just forfeited an SP, and the opponent would attack me. If I rolled, for example, 4 shields, I would add 4 to my defense. So right now I have a defense of 10, 9 plus my core. I would add 4 to that, so I'd have a defense of 14, so I'd be a lot harder to hit.
But you're out of SP. You can't dodge.
Yep. So I'm getting attacked by the Waterlaw.
So the Waterlow is attacking Remy over this pit right here. She's got line of sight. So how do you determine what dice you're rolling? The just printed one? Yeah. Right
Yeah, her combat. Since she's on this particular step right here, she's going to be making an impact with ranged. Range is 6, so we count out 6 diagonal spaces from the Waterloa to Remy, and she rolls these 2 dice.
Hopefully not a 6.
Hopefully not a 6. I've been rolling really hot, so in this case I'm not. So I rolled an 8 because she gets +1 to the roll for every book on the dice. But Remy's defense is higher than that.
So I have a defense of 10, so it missed me.
Perfect.
So it worked out.
And,
Remy lives to fight another day.
and the Waterloo is done.
All right. So the next person's turn is the animate in the initiative track. What we've done is we've divvied out the enemies so that each of us, or at least a couple of us, can play the enemies. So what the animate's going to do, he's got a passive ability here that on his first time each turn, he makes an attack against an adjacent opponent, he'll empower the dice. So not somebody you want to be next to. However, the one that we killed, that kind of helps us out. And there is one other over there. So we just go down the list of what's going to happen. Does the animate have any damage? No. So we continue down. Is there an opponent adjacent? There is not. And let's see, it doesn't say continue down, but we normally do.
Because it was not true, you always continue to the next step.
Perfect. Is there an opponent within an SOI? There is not. And can it move and attack an opponent in range 4? And
There's no one within
It's too
even
slow.
range.
Well, he may be able to.
3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4.
He cannot.
He cannot.
No.
So we're counting
Just
6,
slightly out of range.
moving 6, and then 4 more spaces to see within what his SOI would be. And that is out of range. It's at the end of this tile. So
Remy is 1
So he
space
doesn't.
away.
He's not going to do anything for this turn. So
Wonderful.
Well, let me just explain one thing. So when you empower an attack, so his first ability where he adds a black die, he empowers an attack. He'll add the black die to his combat dice here, the teal and the orange. So what that does is it adds more symbols to his roll. It also, I mean, there's a chance of him rolling the skull and missing completely. But the animate can hit pretty hard with the right symbols. So
it's good
his
you
first
guys-
attack is super rough.
It's good you guys threw him over the cliff.
Yeah, it is.
Maybe a Remy.
So Nightingale is
All right.
last on the initiative track.
yeah. So next, again, my character. I like to call her Knight. Anyway, I'm playing a support build at range. So I've got a longbow. I also have the ability Mend, which I'm just going to flip right now, which allows me to gain 4 heal tokens. And I can use a stamina point for each heal token to heal ally within SOI for 3. So I'll just have those tokens for use. And then I'm going to spend 1 stamina point to move, and I'm just going to get closer to everybody. I don't think I'm going to be attacking anyone, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And I'm actually going to end my turn there and just gain some more SP next time.
All right.
Cool. Alrighty.
All
So
right,
that's
so-
the end of the round, right?
Yep, that's the end of the round. And we move back up to the top of the initiative track to start the next round. And it's Rook's turn again.
So you're up.
So I'm up. Let's do some things.
Let's do it.
All right. So I gain 3 SP because it's at the start of my turn, and now I can and I also unexhaust any cards that were exhausted, such as my trick shot. I don't quite have the range to get to the water Lola with only 4 range on my attack, so I will just.
I don't, maybe you can
moving.
show real quick that this, so red outlines printed on the tile signify obstructing terrain. So we actually can't move onto these spaces or see through them. So that's one reason why the water Loa wasn't able to attack anyone here, is because of this obstructing terrain. It's like a wall. I just thought of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Rook has a range of 4, and I'm guessing you're trying to get to her. Or
I'd
maybe
like
that
to be
other
able to,
animate.
but I won't be able to because I can't move here and attack, and then there's these big pits in my way.
All right.
And as Rook, my agility is very low, so if I tried to jump those pits, I would most likely fall to my death. So I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to move 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to move right here.
Okay.
And when I move onto this space, we trigger the blue objective.
The blue objective. So we'll take our red revealer.
Okay.
Make a presence 12 check. If you pass, read A. If you fail, read B.
Okay.
All right, so to make a presence 12 check, or to make a skill check in general, you'll be rolling 2 purple dice
Okay.
and adding whatever symbol it is. So presence, for instance, I would add.
Show that.
Yep. I would add 4 to my roll.
That glare, dude.
Yeah, that's for reals.
Yeah, I got it. We're good. So you can see that these are the skills down
So there's
here.
presence, lore, agility, perception, and strength. And different encounter rules will call for different
Yep.
Types of
checks. This one is a presence.
Yep.
So-
So while Rook is maybe very strong with a 6 strength, he is not very agile. But he's a pretty good looking dude, so
Oh, look at that.
Presence
No
is
shirt.
good.
yeah. Okay, guess what, guys? I did not pass.
So 5 plus your
Ooh,
4
is a 9.
9. So you failed the check.
So I failed the check. And
So we read B.
We
Okay.
read B.
So you can see in the adventure book here we have A, B. We're gonna read B now.
Okay.
Across the water, you can see another animate standing near a treasure chest, a real-life treasure chest. This one wasn't like the ones from the mast. This chest probably contains something of real value. Unfortunately, the animate wasn't intimidated by you. It makes a horrible sound like a mixture between a rattle and a loud screech and charges at you with pounding footsteps that shake the foundation of the platform you stand upon. Seeing the approaching mass gives you pause, but you consider calling its bluff and taking it head on. If you choose to play it safe, read C. If you want to charge the animate, read D. So now it's up to Clayton to decide what he wants to do. Does he
All
want
right.
to charge it or tough it out and just stand his ground?
Stand my ground. Well, normally I like to play it safe, but for the sake of
Charge it.
you only live
With their little
once,
bow gun.
Yeah.
I'll YOLO.
Charge with
I won't
bow.
charge it. I will. Yes.
So, Rook is going to charge the animate. Read D. So I'm going to read this paragraph here. You decide to meet the animate's charge head on. With a surge of adrenaline, you scream and jump headlong over the river, clashing with the animate midair above the raging current. Place the animate from tile UM66 and your figure adjacent to each other in the river, 2 spaces from the dangerous terrain at the current's edge.
Yep.
Okay. After placing both figures, make an attack with +5 to the roll against the animate.
That's good.
Yeah.
After concluding this attack, continue your turn. So he gets a super buff attack. But he's in water now.
With your
which
bow
kinda
gun.
sucks.
Yeah.
That was good.
With your bow, yeah, your little cross.
+5 to the attack, though. All right.
Yeah, that's not bad.
That'll hit.
So
That's
13.
13, so that's 3 over his defensive 10.
Armor of 2, so it's 1 damage.
So 1 damage. Plus I have a fight drive, which gives me additional points I can spend here. So for every $2, I can get +2 physical damage. So that'll be another 2 damage. So that's 3 damage.
3 damage.
Not as good as it could have been, but not bad regardless.
It was cool.
It was cool.
It was
That's
cool.
what matters.
So now I still have 2 action points, and I still have my trick shot. So I might as well use my trick shot and try and kill this guy. We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, people are like,
Yeah.
you were the one who needed the Warhammer.
Yeah. I know I've been rolling pretty bad. All right, then I'll spend 2 more action points to make an attack
Okay.
with my light shield and hand crossbow. There we go.
There we go.
I like it. All right, so that's 10, so that hits exactly. Unfortunately, I don't think I'm actually going to do any damage anyways, because I can spend my 2 on my fight drive, my 2 bucks, to get plus 2 damage, which will negate the armor, but I can't add damage otherwise. So, unfortunately, although I still hit him, I don't do anything.
So you hit him for 0 damage because his armor reduced the damage.
Yep.
All right. Hopefully you don't get
And,
swept over that cliff there.
And then, since my turn is over, I get...
So yeah, he ended his turn in the current, and the current on the special encounter rules will move him 1 space in the direction. The arrows will be printed on the encounter setup. So he moves 1 space toward that pit. He also provokes a break attack.
Yes.
So anytime you
From the
move out of
enemy.
a space that's adjacent to a bad guy, a baddie, they're going to get a free attack. And you too, if a monster moves out of a space adjacent to an
Yes.
adventurer, you get to attack them too. So
I think, does he empower it?
Right?
He does empower it because it is the first attack this turn
yep.
against
So
the
it's super rough to do that.
Hopefully misses.
It's a 10.
So you rolled a 10.
Plus, so it's a 10 with just the roll, but then you add a book and a shield adds 1 to the roll, and so I have 1 book, 1 shield there that can add 1, so it's 11.
Okay. So normally
Not too bad.
my defense is a 9, because my aligning machine doesn't innately give me a defense, but I can exhaust it to give myself 1 defense. So my defense is a 10 for this turn, and then I also have 1 armor from my light shield. So I'm not going to take any damage, which is awesome because now I can exhaust my light shield to make a counterattack against the Animate, because I was dealt no damage from the attack.
And that's just kind of how our counters in this game work. If you have the ability to counter, you can do so if you were attacked but took no damage.
Counter's a
And-
standard action you can do for 2 SP, but he has a shield that just is printed on there for an exhaust.
So you can just
That's
shield
one
bash
benefit
him
of
back.
shields, yeah.
All right, let's see if I can blow him up. Nope.
Nope. 1 and 2.
Uh,
Having those bad rolls, man.
Oh, yeah,
So tough,
I
yeah.
need some better rolls, but that's my turn.
Okay.
Zeke.
All right. So
Should probably help him out.
Nah, that's okay. I got this guy.
He's got it.
oh man,
Yeah, with your
You're in the
rolls of
worst
3.
spot now.
6, 8, man.
Well, at least I got the counter off.
For 0 damage.
Well, I still got to use it.
True.
Yeah, that's cool.
All right.
For information purposes.
For information purposes.
Better
it's
than
great.
nothing, yeah.
Maybe we can kill him. Let's see.
I'm in a tricky spot.
It's weird, like the glare through this is like horrific, and then I look over the phone and it's just fine.
Is it that bad?
Yeah, like this tile you just can't see. Like right from here, but like it's this is fluorescent
The
lights.
lighting
It's all
is
good.
not that good.
Need to pay an extra $800 on my iPhone.
All right.
I'm gonna spend an SP to move.
Okay.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh man. Yeah, I can't really get there and do anything.
You could get there, but then
You have
not do
enough
anything.
fortitude. Does that give you? You want
No, not enough.
I just waited out. Sorry, Clayton.
No, you're fine. It's all good, man.
That's what I would do.
Yeah. I'm far enough away. I'm not gonna get nuked by the magic damage from the water Lola. So I'm gonna play it safe for a second here. But I will move up 1 more just to get out of people's way in case they want to filter in.
All right.
It is
Remy.
Right? Okay, I'm gaining my 3 SP. Spend 1 to move. Because of heavy, only 4. I think would it help to be there too? No, you're the.
It doesn't matter. I mean, if you can kill him, that'd be awesome. But
I'll just.
because you wouldn't be able to move in.
I'll spend another SP and move. I'll move into the water and just hang out right there. I'm heavy, so I can't be moved by current. So I'll just chill there.
All right.
And I'll save 1 SP for possibly a dodge. Actually, I can't dodge. I'm in water.
Yeah.
When you're in water, you can't dodge, by the way. It's a rule.
All right. So
All right. Excuse me.
You guys are just in the fray in the river. That's not good.
yeah.
You guys are
So,
gonna go over that edge.
Waterloo is going to activate. Nobody's in her SOI still, so she's not going to do anything related to that. Nobody's adjacent to her, so she's not going to do anything to that. She's going to move and attack again. She can't see Nightingale. I think she's going to be shooting Remy here. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Don't they want to be at the furthest distance though?
They do.
So she'll
She
go
would
that
move
way.
back.
She can back up a little bit more.
I'm gonna drag you up that river.
She can go
5, 6, yep. So, I mean, that's kind of a pain in the butt.
Yeah, she's
Hold back. Hold back.
All right. She doesn't have a strong ranged attack, but it's so far away she can just kind
Helps you.
of belch you from.
Can be strong.
And I can't dodge because I'm in water. So.
Yeah, if she rolls real good, it's bad news.
It's true.
She can nuke you.
just too purple. You're fearing
Just
fine.
just like that, you know.
So if you were like that, it's bad news bears. So she's 13, and then she gets +1 to her roll for every book. And if she rolls a star, then she can heal herself. So she is now rolling a 17 with this roll,
Yeah.
which is pretty awful.
So
So I have a defense
Awful
of
time.
10 with my core.
that's 7 over.
So I take 7 damage.
All right.
This is why we have a healer.
Yeah. Yikes.
Pro tip: have healers.
Yeah.
And she would have healed herself if she had any damage, but she doesn't. So
And she can just do this all day long.
Fly up there with Remy or something. Well,
Yeah. Eventually.
yeah.
All right, so that's the water Lola.
Alright.
Now we got to do the
It's the animates.
animate.
Yep.
All right. So this is where does the animate have damage? And it does. So it heals 2. It had 3 damage. Now it only has 1 damage. Is there an opponent adjacent? There is. So it will make a blade attack, and then move up to 2 spaces farther from the target. And it does not provoke break attack. So it's going to use its normal attack here, the teal and the orange,
And
it
who's it
will
attacking?
power it. because
So in a
it's
case of
first.
a tiebreaker right now, since Remy and Rook are both adjacent to the animate, the way you can break the tie is by looking at the initiative track. Whoever's closer to the front will be the target. So because I'm 3rd here, Rook is 1st. Rook will be the target.
It's good for you.
Which is good.
Good for me. And you don't have any damage on
I
you,
don't have any damage.
and you got some armor, so you're
All
probably
right.
I
good.
do.
All right.
Let's see how this goes.
No.
Not
Okay,
good.
well, that's 12 so far, but we get 1 to the roll every time. So 13, 14, 15 for books and shields. No, you're good. So it's a 15.
Okay. All right. So my defense is a 9 because I can't use my aligning machine because it's already exhausted. However, I do have my favorite T-shirt. It's my favorite T-shirt, and I can exhaust it at any time. This armor gains +1, or this armor gains +1 armor
to the end of
until
turn.
end of turn. So I'll exhaust that. So now I have 2 armor, 1 from my shield and 1 from my favorite T-shirt. And it was a 15. So normally I would take 6 damage, but I only take 4 because of my armor.
Nice.
So not too terrible.
Not too terrible. At least you have a shield.
Yep. All right.
And now he will move 2 further. So 1, 2, and it's 2 spaces. So
Yep. 2 spaces.
And you can't move diagonal, too.
Yep. You cannot move diagonally. All right. So that's the animate, right?
yep. That is correct. So now it's back to night. And I get. I had 2 already because I haven't really done anything. So now I'm at 5.
One of the, and you'll notice that as we in Middara, I'm sure you guys watching this have played a lot of dungeon crawls. We have ourselves. We tried to design our monsters to be, I guess, hard.
Yeah.
Like react to the players and what they're doing. So they're going to move away, or in some cases move up. They're going to try to distance themselves. They're hopefully not just going to be totally mindless. So, you know, that Waterloo is not going to, unless you get too close enough to it that she's actually going to think moving forward it's going to be a better decision for her. She's going to keep kiting the players. And, you know, when we design these creatures, hopefully when they're moving away, it's for reasons like this, so he doesn't find himself being swept over the side of the cliff like a noob. So,
All right, so I've got 5 SP, and I'm going to spend 1 to move. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And what I'm going to do, instead of use any of my heal tokens, I'm actually going to discard the Hyper Energy HP potion, which will allow an ally within SOI to heal 3 and gain a stamina point. And so I'm going to use that one
what?
That's great.
on Remy.
Remy's.
So heal 3.
So you'll heal 3.
So I have 7 damage on
Yeah,
me.
you're the party healer, huh?
Yeah, I'm the support. So,
So I have 4 damage now on me.
yep. And then,
Remy getting an SP.
And SP.
yeah. So, and I have 4 SP left, and I'm going to use that to try and attack the enemy twice.
Yep.
So, I'm going to spend both of those and just go with my white dice.
Big roll.
Again, I got to beat a 10, so hope for the best. All right,
10.
got a 10. And that is unfortunate. So I got 2 extra damage because, or sorry, no, I actually plus 1 extra damage actually for the 2 shields, but that still isn't enough to overcome the armor. So we'll try again. And I didn't get him. So that's the turn. So
All right.
Okay, so that's the second round is over. It comes back to Rook, who desperately needs to move, or he will be swept away into the darkness.
Don't forget you have
Yeah.
a Banff token.
And I do have. Okay, so
These,
first things
these,
first.
These steel dice are like little beacons of light. Okay, I try to like zoom in, and I'm like,
So I
freaking blind
unexhaust
me.
all exhausted cards. Gain 3 action points. And before I do anything else, I'm actually just going to exhaust my trick shot and try and do something to this animate. There we go.
Nice roll.
All
that's
right.
a 7 and a 6. The one time I wasn't looking at the dice. Yeah.
7 and a
Big numbers.
6. It is actually a 14 because of my trick shot, which is
Take
a
a look at trick shot. I forget if I looked at that already. I think I did, but
yep. So one-handed weapon, ranged weapons equipped. Make an attack at +1 of the roll, but it is at -2 physical damage. So it helps you hit, but not necessarily helps you do damage. But
So you were 4 over, and you had 2 armor, but then you was -2 damage, so you're at 0 damage. But whatever you add,
no,
How's that
I was 4 over.
correct? 2
Yes,
armor,
2 armor.
which means you're at 2 over,
Yep.
but reduce the damage by 2.
Mm-hmm.
So anything you add now.
Yes. So I will be adding, because of my fight drive, I can spend two bucks to add 2 physical damage. I've got 4 bucks, so I will add 4 damage.
Okay.
Not too bad.
and that puts the total damage on that animate at how much?
5.
5. And how much hit points does he have?
12.
12. So he
He's
has
like about half
7
dead.
left.
Yeah, not too shabby.
And that's exhausted.
Also, I was
And that's exhausting.
talking to Clayton earlier about trick shot. It scales really well into the later game. That -2 damage seems like it is a lot right now in the early game, but that's not too bad. For a free attack, that's actually a really good price to pay.
Yeah.
Like later in the game when you're getting more disciplines and
That's
you're
a
able to
very-
attack more
Very
and
good.
Yeah, when your people are flying
So-
around the table and
super solid ability.
throwing fireballs and stuff.
Yep.
I just because I was thinking about it.
Yeah.
If you're wondering why the light shield is considered a ranged weapon, shields have this symbol right here. Basically means they're melee and ranged. They basically whatever you have them equipped with, they're gonna take on the properties of whatever weapon you have them equipped with. So
Yep. Even a ranged weapon.
yeah, even a ranged weapon. So You can have a sling and shield, or a crossbow and shield, or a
Yeah.
axe and shield, or whatever you want.
Yeah. All right. They're very versatile. Okay, so
2 shields. You can Dark Souls it up, I guess.
you can 2 shields.
You have 2 shields, yeah.
All right. So first things first, I'll spend an action point to move, and I'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh wait, no, I don't want to do that. I'll just move to there.
Maybe we should just say that the water functions sort of like hindering terrain,
Oh yeah.
in that it costs 2 movement to move out of.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's just worse than hindering because you don't get the defense bonus and you also can't dodge.
Yes.
And there's a current.
And
so
there's a current.
There's
I
a lot
could
of
use my phase
downsides to
token,
this,
I
but-
guess.
Well, why not?
And currents will sometimes move other things
Alright,
besides
I'll just
figures,
use my
like
phase
chests
token.
and things like that.
Sometimes
too.
the currents will be stronger too in the movie more
we're
than
gonna
one.
do something real cool, and that is I'm gonna use my phase token. I can discard to warp to any unoccupied space within SOI. So,
SOI is 4 spaces in
yes.
any direction. So.
And yes, so I'm just gonna discard that to do that. So I just count out any 4 spaces. So
And warp
2,
means
3, 4.
He's not affected by, the water, hindering terrain, other figures.
I basically-
he won't provoke break attacks.
I take my figure off the table, and then I place it back down.
So he
wherever I
just
want.
bamps behind that guy, and
I will bamf right here,
yeah.
so that on Patrick's turn he can actually use his ability.
Also, yeah, we do have flanking in Middara. If you are on the exact opposite side of a figure, like if there's 2 figures and they're on exact opposite sides of a target, they will get a bonus to their attack. So, well, I guess the opponent gets a minus to the defense.
Yeah. So what's going to happen now, since I didn't actually have to spend any action points to use my phase token to make that, I can now attack again from right behind him. And it's just a standard normal attack. And again, I hit, but I'm going to not do any damage because
His armor.
of his armor. So armor piercing is great. And that's all I have to say. I'll save my 1 action point to dodge, and I am done.
All right. So I get my
So Zeke's big turn here.
3 SP. I'm gonna start by drinking this MF Fortitude potion. Gives me another SP.
Real quick.
So I'm maxed out.
Glare. Yeah.
I am going to advance, spend an SP, and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to use a smoke bomb to avoid break attacks. Just as I was being reminded. I don't want extra damage. So
they're set up for a flank now.
I'm set up for a flank. So I've got combo ability. I got 2 combo abilities, and one of them is backstab. Is that plus?
It's
remind me
plus
what it is
1
now.
to your roll,
That's right.
and then it's plus 5 physical damage.
But in order to use that ability, you have to combo with a light weapon,
Which I have. Got a light weapon.
well, this weapon has to be a light weapon.
Oh yeah, I always make
So
that mistake too.
then
Yeah.
the flanking is plus 3 damage.
It's
Plus 5 damage, plus 1 to your attack.
That's
well,
for
That's
backstab.
backstab.
Oh,
So
backstab,
it's so just flanking
Straight up
is
flanking.
plus 1 to the roll, plus 3.
That's what it is.
Yeah,
Okay.
Plus 1 to
Still
attack,
really
and then plus
good.
3 damage if
Yeah.
you hit.
Really good.
Yeah, so just so you guys, what we were
So
just
if he
talking
had
about.
2 daggers equipped,
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah,
he
I
could
can
combo
explain this
light,
real quick.
or he would
So Patrick here has a dagger, and daggers have an ability called backstab usually, and backstab will, if you're flanking somebody, you get a real gnarly bonus. But he only gets that ability if he combos this dagger with another weapon with the light tag. So yeah, here's an example of that. Would be like using a dagger with a guitar. You would get they would actually both get their combo light bonuses, though I guess it's backstab in both cases, so it doesn't do much for you in this case. But over here with a longsword dagger, he's actually using the longsword's combo. The longsword gets its combo bonus because the dagger is light, but the dagger does not get its combo bonus because the longsword is not light. So
All right. So we're gonna
I need a big play from you.
need a big play.
Patrick.
I get +1, so a 9 to hit.
That is not a 9.
That is not a 9.
That's a big old 6.
So we are going to do that again.
So in Middara, you can make as many attack actions as you want. You can make as many actions as you want in all cases except for move, limited to how many stamina points you have to spend or abilities you have that can give you them for free or what have you. So he can make a second attack because he has the action or the stamina points to do so.
I'm using Imbued Fear. Right now I have no reason not to use Imbued Fear. I will always be using Imbued Fear. It's just really good.
Yeah, and Imbued Fear, we call them attack replacements. They're basically, the standard attack action in the game is 2 action points or stamina points. Imbued Fear is 2 stamina points, and it buffs your basic attack. So it essentially replaces his character's
There are
standard
drawbacks, like some opponents might be immune to Cruar abilities.
Yeah, resistance or something.
Yeah, resistant. So
There you go.
that'll hit real well. So I get +1, so this is a 14 to his 10, which means I am 4 over. Again, he's got 2 armor, so I'm doing 2 damage to him presently. The Imbued Fear gives me an extra 2 damage, so we're back up to 4 damage. And then we look at my abilities. I've got +1 physical damage for every book and shield. I've got 2 books and 2 shields, so that'll give me another 6 damage, which is pretty sweet. But on top of all of that wonderful stuff, we've got the flanking, which gives me another 3 damage. So I'm doing, 9 damage to this guy.
And he already had 5, so he is dead.
So
it'd
it'd
Alright.
be 9 minus his 2 armor, right?
I think we already minus that.
it'd be
You already
11.
minus-
It'd be
oh, wow,
11
oh,
minus
man,
2. Yeah.
11 minus his 2. Yeah, and he was already healing it, so he's dead. That kills him. Now, since Patrick was the one to kill him, he draws a loot card.
I get that sweet, sweet gold. Ooh, unique loot.
Wonderful. Did you stack that deck, or did that just happen?
No,
Just
it's just
happened.
like that.
Okay, cool.
Promise.
There's only one of those in the whole 30 card deck. What that means is if you kill a monster and you draw the unique loot, every monster has their own little tiny stack of cards, and they're like unique drops associated with that monster. So in the case of the Animate, there's 2 cards that you can pull from killing an Animate and drawing the unique loot. There's the Quicken Eye and the Animate Shard. The Animate Shard is going to give you a bunch of gold when you sell it in town, and the Quicken Eye lets you make a free attack burn counter. That's pretty sweet. And these green cards are relics, and these brown cards are consumables. Any character can have 3 of each equipped at any given time. Consumables are just like they sound. You usually discard them when you use them, and relics stick around. So what we're going to do is we're going to shuffle both those, and all of our cards are double-sided, so you're going to have to
So
Draw
what
from the
we'll
bottom.
do is we'll.
put
All
it on
right,
the table.
pick
or
a
whatever.
pick a hand.
That one.
Okay.
What do we got? We got the shard.
Yeah.
Shard, which is the actual better option typically, but not in this playtest. If you're doing a campaign, that would be the one you want.
25 gold's a lot of gold.
Yeah, 25 gold's a lot of gold.
I mean, if it's a choice between 2 and 25, I'll pick 2. Or 25.
So now Zeke, he equips that immediately, doesn't he?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, you can actually equip that immediately, so he won't lose that even if he dies. Unlike the gold over there, if Alex were to get owned.
Right. Also, any
Before you actually-
items that you find during encounters, you don't lose when you die.
Yep.
It's only the gold.
It's only the gold. Yeah.
Which is like losing items, only worse.
Yeah.
So the initiative
Yeah,
track
gold's really
for the
important in our
Animate,
game.
he
We have a
is
There
on
are
quite
no
the
more
economy
animates.
in
But
campaigns.
then also Zeke, his turn ended, correct?
Yep.
And so
Zeke's-
you're going to move.
Oh yeah,
Colonel
we
moves
can
in.
show this. So now that the last animate currently on the board has been killed, the card is removed from the initiative track, and you move any card beneath it up the initiative track. If at a later date a new monster were to spawn, or a new character, creature, anything, they would be added to the end of the initiative track unless a rule says otherwise. They ambush you or something like that. Okay.
All right. So
Good job, Patrick. That's what I'm talking about. Big play. That's what
Yeah.
we needed.
Well,
exactly what we needed.
Flanking is legit.
flanking is the thing to do.
So
You didn't even have that
I'm up.
backstab bonus.
I know.
You would have killed him twice over.
Oh man, the finesse though, the combo abilities. Look for those.
Yeah.
All right.
where did I leave off? I was just saying that the the printed value of my SP goes to 5 here. I had 2 at the start of the turn. I'll gain 3 at the beginning, and I can never gain more than that. So if I just sat here and decided that I didn't want to do anything this turn, and then my next turn came around, I would stay at 5. I wouldn't get any more than that.
Is there any way to increase your maximum or to get more a turn?
There might be.
There might be. We won't spoil anything.
All right.
But I think on this turn I'm going to fly. So I'll spend 2 SP to fly.
Okay.
And again, because I'm heavy, I can only move 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spend another 1 for 2. 2. I'm still flying, by the way. Another 1 for 2. And then I will use what's called an encounter action. So I'm at this loot token now. So I'm adjacent to it. I'm going to spend 1 SP to make an encounter action to open the loot.
And encounter actions are they cost 1 SP to do, and they're basically our catch-all for any time you need to do an encounter to interact with something
Right.
in an encounter. So.
So in this case, the green loot.
Okay, so you flip it. It's a green loot. In this particular encounter, sometimes it's fixed, sometimes it's random. It's random, I believe, in this encounter, right?
It is, yeah.
You just actually deal the loot out, and you flip it, and it's green, and we hide all of our loot in Middara, so
can
you
see.
actually have to see what you find in the green.
So it could have been any of these.
Could have been any of those.
So
Yeah.
we're
So
looking
what's
at
in the green, guys?
You find a pile of treasure, gain 10 gold, and 1 random consumable.
Nice. The mundane consumable, or does it not?
So we're looking at the when you're wondering what, yeah. So the loot level will determine what tier of item you're gonna gain. So level mundane.
Hey, Mike, you hand me
Yeah.
that.
So that
So
means
Clayton will look through the deck and he'll shuffle. He'll randomize it and give me a random consumable.
yeah. So Clayton's shuffling all of the mundane consumables right now, and in Middara we have 4 tiers. Basically, we got 4. There's mundane, common,
you got the word
uncommon, and
So I got the MF Fortitude.
MF
I think
is fine.
There are better ones.
Hater.
I'll just say
HP.
For what I was gonna say,
HP energy potion, bottle blessing.
Anyway, then at the end of that, once you've opened a loot token, you can remove it from the board. Oh, I was gonna say that we have this adventure sheet here.
Oh yes.
This is how you record your progress. Here we have flags, so sometimes in the story, certain events will occur where you are going to need to check any number of these.
Yeah, kind of choose your own adventure style. Sometimes that book will tell you if you have flag X or flag Y, go here or go there.
Yep. You
Do
can
a
keep
thing,
track of your
yeah.
gold here. So in this case, I would write down that I found 20 gold. I'd put 20 here. I would add it to whatever I had at the beginning.
And the party shares gold in Middara.
Mm-hmm.
It's a cooperative game through and through. So anytime if who has the gold right now? I guess you do. If Remy were to escape this encounter alive, the party would get the gold, and then during the buy rounds, the party would split the gold and buy what they think is best for the group.
You can catalog your page number. You write down each adventurer here, what their XP is. If you're having to end your play session in the middle of an encounter or after an encounter string, you can keep track of the damage that was on them. We're also going to provide tuck bags where you can keep everything
Yes.
related to your character in, so that next time you play, you can just open the bag.
Right.
That's another way of keeping track.
So an example of that
That's
would be
it right
like
now.
Rook, I guess, because right now this is super early game in the campaign. You'll eventually, as the campaign progresses, I mean, you'll have a lot of stuff, tons of abilities. I mean, you'll have cards all around this. When you clean up, you basically just take everything for Rook and you shove it in a baggie, and that's the Rook baggie. And then if you ever want to use Rook again in the future, you just pull it out of the bag.
There's also, we provide this in the rulebook, and I think we're going to provide a PDF of it on our website as well. So you
No,
just
we're-
print it off. As
We're
many
only
of them
we're
as
only
you want.
charging people for those. We don't.
Oh yeah, $10 per
$10
adventure sheet.
for that.
$10.
No, the adventure sheet, yeah, well, that'll be a free PDF. And then we have it in the back of the adventure book, but how many people want to write in the back of there? Or the rule book. How many people want to write in the rule book, really? So,
So,
I guess you could.
You
oh
can-
yeah.
I didn't. I used all the.
Yeah.
I used all my sheets in Kingdom Death.
Yeah.
And I ran out.
Anyway, that's my
Like a
turn.
bunch.
All right. So the water is it?
Waterloo is up, and
Actually.
she's gonna do the thing.
You're out of action points. Oh, but
Okay, real quick, I'm just gonna gain an SP from my
MF
MF
Fortitude you just
Fortitude,
found?
just
Okay.
in case I need to dodge an attack. So, put this back in the.
Which is probably imminent.
it is.
So the Waterloo is going to keep doing what she has been doing all along, and that's
Trolling Remy.
Yeah, shooting from far away, unmolested here. All right.
Is it the nearest?
It is the nearest.
Yes.
So you're 6.
And it's going to be a tie. Oh,
So it's Rook this time.
So-
Oh, it's Rook, yeah.
Remy gets a break here.
So again, the tiebreaker is the initiative.
And they're
Whoever
both
closest
at
to the
range
front.
6.
Yep.
So Rook is the guy.
Yep.
Spot
And now that I know I'm targeted, now that
but the
I
Waterloo is
know-
going to move as far
right.
away as possible from Rook.
Yep, so she'll move all the way down there.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That's it.
Mm-hmm.
That's a pain.
Yep.
Yep.
All right, so I'm going to spend an SP to dodge. Thank you.
Here, we'll see a dodge in action here.
All right, so that I rolled 2 shields, so that adds 2 to my defense.
And your defense is normally
9.
9 plus your core, right?
Plus
No,
my
you're-
core, which gives me nothing. If I want to exhaust it to
It'll give you
gain,
1, okay.
it would give me an extra defense. But I'm going to let this
Let it ride.
let it ride. See.
It should be stated that you have to dodge before the attack is rolled.
That
so
is
you
correct.
can't game the system.
You can't game it, yeah.
Unlike the lightning machine, which I can do at any time.
Yep, unless it says at any time. So that is an 8, 9, 10.
All right,
Oh.
I'm at an 11.
It's a perfect example of something that might have actually hit him if he didn't dodge.
Yes.
So
So good for Rook.
Yeah.
That is her.
You can open that
activation.
chest.
Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Dude.
You're gonna jump.
All right, so I get 3
Okay.
SP, and
Oh
I'm
no.
gonna spend 1 to move,
can-
and I'm gonna jump this gap. So we're gonna 1, 2, 3.
So explain
what
your
that
reasoning
means?
here. I mean, I mean,
Because otherwise,
you
I
couldn't
have to
run
go
around.
through the water, and I'm gonna have to spend 2 movement points each time, and I'd have
2,
to
3,
use
4,
up
5,
all
6,
of my
7.
SP.
Yeah, you'd have to use
essentially.
all your SP to do that. Yep.
So this way, I can shorten the gap. Now, this is an agility check, and I have 5 agility on my character, so
So how does
it's
jumping
more
work?
likely.
So jumping, I can
Go ahead.
explain if you want. So it's good that you're doing this too, so we can explain. So anything with the grayish white outline is considered dangerous terrain. So if you end your turn or leave the space,
You'll just die.
you'll die. So he's jumping it. So normally it's a agility 10 check for 1 space, and then an extra 2 to that check for every space beyond that. So this would actually be a agility 12. So it's 10 for the first one, 2 for the next one. So he has to, with an agility of 5,
have to get a.
So when it's
Yes, 7.
if you have to get a 7 to pass that jump.
and if he
check.
fails, he'll die. Now,
Yeah.
jumping does not take extra action points, right?
Nope.
So you can
Just like
just
movement.
so he could. I mean, if he succeeded that check, he could keep going and jump this pit too.
Yep.
Correct.
Okay. All right.
But I want that chest.
All right. Yeah, you gotta get that chest. So
So,
hopefully you
7
don't
is
plummet
what
to
you
your
need.
doom here. Didn't you plummet to your doom last time? We just played.
Woo, he did it. Big roll.
Okay.
Big deal.
Might be able to
man.
jump the pit.
Nothing but a thing. Okay.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna do an encounter action to open the chest. And
All right.
I found.
Well,
it was
that one's
blue.
blue. So
whoops.
here's an
That one was
example
revealed
of
as already.
Oh, you're right.
yeah. So here's an
Yeah,
example
you're
of like during this encounter, it actually specifies a blue chest instead of like a random black one that could be any color when you flip it over. So yeah, sometimes the chests are fixed.
Yeah, so the blue loot. Gain 20 gold and spawn 1 water Lola in water on the west side of tile UM50. So this is tile UM50 here. They're all labeled with their
With my
UM meaning unintentional malum.
janky iPhone camera. There we go.
So it's saying to spawn another water Lola on the
West.
in water on the west side of this tile.
So if you're wondering what's the west side, we have in all of our encounters there is a north listed, and
yeah.
it's really important. It's referenced quite often.
And
for various
actually,
events.
we're right now we're waiting on another set of miniatures. So for now, we're going to use a standee for
The other one.
the other water Lola.
In all fairness, we had some other minis and you broke them.
I did. I broke one of them.
So,
But the
The head
normal
fell off.
plastic minis are very sturdy and most likely will not.
oh
be
yeah, it was
broken so
it
easily.
was like a resin mini.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, that is my turn.
All right.
Back to Rook.
Yeah, back to me. Cool. Now we've got 2 water levels. Thanks, Kay. All right. So I gain 3 action points. My stuff on exhaust, which is nice because I want a trick shot. Anyways, so I will spend an action point to move. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Spend another action point to move up again. 8, and 1 more to move more. 9, 10. Now, again, Rook is not heavy or anything like that, so he will be affected by the current and be moved right there. And he can no longer dodge. And that is my turn.
Now, just because I want to,
Yeah, but you can jump and
You-
catch you.
yeah. So, I don't recommend these things, but
No.
Rook. Now you can. I mean, these tiles are all connected, and you could see that Rook could have gone here and jumped across this gap and saved this trip, but Rook is not. His agility is garbage.
Yeah.
He's a big dude. He's not known for his agility. And while I've seen our playtesters do that so many times with Rook for some reason, they usually never succeed. Sorry, phone exploded again. I was saying that Rook can jump from there to there instead of running all the way around, but it'd probably be a stupid idea. However, we do have a system where you can catch people jumping as well. If somebody is adjacent to the space you're jumping to, they can grab you with I believe it's a
Presence.
Or not, sorry, perception.
perception check,
Perception,
right?
yeah. We can test that right now with Zeke, I think.
No.
Zeke.
It's a
No,
bad
you
idea.
weren't. I thought you.
His perception.
But in
is
either case,
2.
just because Rook's
They
a
said you wanted to jump.
big dude who
Rook's
can't
perception
jump,
is
you can still set up to catch people to help use teamwork to get people across crazy gaps and whatnot. And you can also jump water too. You can jump any non-normal terrain space. Is it any non?
Yes, but you have to start on a normal terrain space.
and on a normal. No, just start on one.
start on one.
So you could jump from here to here to jump over the river, or over a pit, or you could even jump over these guys too. In case you didn't want to try running across them.
I mean, I
Crumble.
could go here
Doesn't it?
to jump
Okay, so if you
over
fail a check jumping over water, you basically.
If you
just end
fail,
your
if
turn
you
in
fail
that
any
space.
jump check, you end your turn.
movement, I
Your-
guess.
Yeah, you end your movement in the space before you're trying to jump to. So in the case of the water, if you failed jumping the water, you would just land in the water. If you failed jumping this pit, you would plummet to your doom. And if you failed to jump over one of these guys, I guess you would just land in one of those spaces. So,
All right.
which may also plummet you to your doom.
Yes, very, very likely.
Good.
Or-
3 SP. I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I could jump here for 6.
No. Jump. You still have to spend.
Oh, it's
the
worth that.
points.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's worth it.
Yeah, that's worth it. I mean, you still
You could do
jump
that
down.
and try.
That sounds
Try at 12.
That seems so bad.
You got Rook to help you.
It's not a whole lot better.
Now, if Rook was here or here, or no, here or here,
Well, that's like a 6, right?
I
mean,
could-
it just has to be a
Then
6.
I could
fucking
if I was
sorry.
if Rook was in this in either of these spaces, Rook could help the jump in a different way, and
You can assist someone jumping.
you can assist someone jumping
Or catch them.
basically by throwing them essentially. And Rook's really good at that because you use a strength. You add the strength of the character assisting to your agility. So if that were the case, it would be a strength plus his perception or agility.
Plus his agility to try to beat the check.
Yeah, so-
So basically, like these small agile characters like Nightingale can get 8-ball specials right over
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
big pits.
Yeah.
I mean, I could try it,
for it.
but
I think that's a bad idea.
I think it's a bad idea. So. I'm gonna spend
YOLO, come on.
Dude, I've
1,
seen
2,
Grizzo plummeted his
7
down.
times 5, and then 6.
That will just put you back here, but
Oh, I'm still gonna spend.
oh, okay.
One more to go up here,
Very good.
and then I'll go back here.
Skabloosh.
Because of the current.
Yeah.
All right.
And I still end with SP.
Yeah. All right. So Remy,
Oh, and then the water Lola. I'll YOLO, okay?
You don't have to YOLO. You can fly.
I'll kind of YOLO because there's something I want to do. So,
We'll get
gain
one.
3
Yeah.
SP for the
Just gonna
turn.
get annihilated.
Yeah.
Actually, no, there's nothing I can do.
It will have been better just to
I mean,
drop
if you-
to your death.
You could fly over there. But those water lows, they get real nasty.
I want to do
if you're
attack,
close.
but I don't have enough SP.
You're right. You don't.
So if you attack, if you're adjacent to those water low, they're going to try to move away from you, right?
Only if there's more than one adjacent.
Yeah, we have to have 2 people there.
Then they can't move away, I guess. So they're
They're gonna want
most
to
likely
shoot me,
gonna
huh?
It's way
Get
better
out of there,
than the other
man.
one.
Yeah.
or fly over the pit and start
Yes.
whacking water lows.
At least you
Wait,
can dodge.
But if you're over there and they attack you, it'll send the water lows over towards us, right?
No, because they'll be using spells.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
They're gonna have to move
there's
soon,
a way
huh?
to get the water low to go that way, but
So I think I'll
I
just
think due to the fact they're back
spend
in
an SP to
that
move.
corner, they probably won't.
You're better off just
Those
standing
checks are rough, huh? What are
No,
they?
they actually don't matter anymore because it's only when you leave the space that you make the check.
Okay. I'll spend an SP 4. And normally I will right now. So I moved over these special train spaces, which require a agility 10 check.
Aren't you just flying now or no?
That costs SP. I don't think you should do that.
No, because I'm just moving across them.
Oh,
And what's
yeah,
going to
yeah,
happen
yeah.
if I fail the agility check, they essentially
crumble behind you.
Yeah, it crumbles.
That's
So
right.
I passed the first one, and then I moved off the second space. 4, 6. So I passed both.
Yeah.
Now, had he failed, we have these little nifty. You see, you could.
Right. They would turn
I
into
know,
dangerous
but-
terrain.
It's not the case. So
Yeah, I was trying to beat an agility 10. Remy's agility is really good at 6, so this was actually the minimum I could roll and still pass. Anyway, so 4. I think I'll move another 2. And I think I might just stay there. Hang on to the 2 SP. And Waterloo's up. Actually, they're gonna shoot me.
Yep.
They're gonna shoot me. Where was I? Here?
yeah.
4, 5, 6.
I'm gonna shoot Rook.
Skabloosh.
Yeah. Never mind. I changed my mind.
Go skabloosh.
I'm gonna move right there. So I'm just slightly out of their range.
All right. So they're up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Ooh, I'll move up now.
So
You could sneak behind him to get him to move downriver.
So you'll activate the first one. This one will be first.
So
Yeah,
the
so
number
if there's
to the
more than
encounters.
one, yeah.
So 1 here. The one that spawned would be number 2.
Yeah,
And they'll activate in that order.
if you look at the character sheets, they're color coded and numbered to the corresponding clips. So, you
So
can
we had
know
that with
which
the
ones.
animate. We had the red was the first guy, and then the purple was number 2.
Yeah, so if they were both alive at any given point, you'd always activate number 1 first.
All right, Rook. Prepare yourself.
I'm not prepared.
That's why I said
You
prepare
guys are doing
yourself.
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good.
You could
Oh, it's
turn
all
max.
Okay.
I told you to prepare yourself.
good.
Oh god.
So it's
That
a
might blow
14
you up.
roll.
No, I'll be fine. It's fine. It's fine.
And the Waterloo's adds books
20.
to their roll.
Yeah, that's 20.
Is it?
14. No, it's 18.
Yeah, 18.
Oh, 18.
18.
Close enough. Yeah, 18. So that's I'm going to exhaust both my aligning machine and my favorite T-shirt. The aligning machine makes my defense 10, so it means they hit for 8 damage, and I exhausted my favorite T-shirt to
Give yourself
gain
armor.
another armor, so I take 6 damage, and I am at 10 damage.
And we count up, Middara. All of our damage is counted up. So if you have enough damage tokens on you to equal your total hit points, you're dead
Which
skis.
I'm very close to doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
So his hit points is Rook is actually a little hardier than some of the other characters. He's got 14, and he's got 10 damage on him right now.
So, where are them hills at?
Heal you.
It probably won't matter, actually. This other one's going to attack me, too.
It will indeed. I focus solely on the exit.
Dude,
I'm just kidding.
You did spawn out of it.
All right, so we're gonna try and not roll high.
Not roll max? That would be great.
That's
That's much better,
significantly
actually.
less than max.
So 13.
So 13.
13.
Still a hit.
I'm still, because these last until the end of the turn, it's still the Waterlow's turn, so I still get these bonuses. So I only take 1 damage.
Yeah, kind of an interesting, I should bring that up, kind of an interesting little tidbit about Middara. So each one of these cards represents a turn. In the case of monsters of multiple types, like the the Water Loa, any ability that lasts till the end of the turn will last until the end of the Water Loa's activations. So because he used these cards and they give him bonuses till the end of the turn, they will last until the end of all Water Loas have activated or whatever.
Yep.
And that's because some monsters, there's a lot of.
Yeah.
Cave sickles will spawn in groups of 6, sometimes as much as 6. So like swarm monsters, they're still represented by a single initiative card. So anything that lasts to the end of the turn will last through their activations. Okay.
And that's the Waterloo.
I survived.
Way to go, buddy. Way to go.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now,
All right.
and
Gain 3 SP, so I have 4. And I'm going to spend 1 and move. Go 1, 2, 3.
Can you actually heal him
4,
or no?
5. I can.
You don't want it?
No, I will.
Oh, okay. Well, we bring it up because like the win conditions to get to the exit token, but they actually you get gold and sweet gear by killing monsters. So there's a certain element of like push your luck in the sense that
Yeah, I'm going to spend 1 more SP to get
if you were playing a
another
campaign, you would
movement
be
space out
You
of
want to
that.
farm the gold.
you would
yeah.
want to farm the gold. You'd want to kill the monsters. Yeah.
And I will spend 2 SP to heal Rook.
All right, sweet.
So he'll heal 6 because each one of these, each one's an SP, so I use 2 SP, and they heal for 3 each, so that's 6 heals.
Yeah. So he flipped a card. Cards that flip abilities are. They can be used once per. Well, basically until the adventure book tells you to unflip your cards. Usually it lasts for a couple encounters, but it gives him 4 ability tokens, and ability tokens last between encounters in case there was. Sometimes we'll string encounters together in a series of dungeon crawls, so you don't exactly know how long, your resources are going to last. And in the case of this specific discipline, it gives him 4 ability tokens that he can use to heal. So.
And to finish my turn off, I'm going to throw my knives at Waterloa number 1.
Let's see that real quick. So throwing knives is a consumable that has a throw ability, and throw abilities can be used to just deal straight up damage to targets within range 4.
Yep.
2 damage.
So he rolled 2, which is too bad.
And now my turn's over.
Which
I flip.
would you throw that against? 1 or 2?
Number 1.
So that was the end of the round, and we start again with Rook.
All right. So I've still got 5 damage.
It's a lot better now, though.
It's
the heals.
much better than 11 damage, that's for sure. The problem now is that Rook is at the top of the initiative track, so anytime there's a tie, Rook is going to be attacked, which,
I'm the closest, though.
yeah. So,
You're kind of a tank.
but if I keep going, I'm liable to get blown up, but whatever, I'll do it. All right, so I gain 3 action points.
You got some ranged.
My stuff on exhaust.
You can move up and fall back with the.
Plus, your build's not too bad against Waterloo. I mean, I don't think anyone's a
it's
spellcaster.
actually.
It's
No, we
perfect.
didn't do any.
No one's a spellcaster.
I mean, I'll get there.
Yeah, you're working on it, but
All right, so I'm
It's
gonna
early
do
game.
1,
early game, you don't know any
2,
spells.
3, 4, 5.
Now you can
6.
take spells early game. Like you could take a spell
Sorry,
as your
my
level 1
my
discipline or
sheath is
whatever.
kinda-
I got a spell.
Yeah.
This comes with a spell.
But that's true. There's a spell on it.
7, 8.
Like almost all of Cruar has got some sort of spell attached to it.
So unfortunately,
true.
I won't be able to make
But it's
just
not
an
like a
attack with
proper
action points.
magic missile or
Yeah,
something.
I have to concede that's true.
So you're gonna have to
First
trick
off-
shot. Oh yeah.
I'm going to use my throwing knives.
Oh, you got throwing knives too.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Throwing knives are out and about. They're flying.
Flying all over the place. Come on, 7.
1.
That's the opposite of what I wanted.
Well, you guys have put 3 damage on a single water though.
Yeah.
Whoopee.
She's
All
got
right.
nine left.
All right, I'll use my trick shot to make free attack. All right.
That'll hit.
Hit.
So that is,
Ooh.
and it doesn't even matter. The -2 damage doesn't.
Do you want to talk about the empowered dice? Because you.
Oh, I didn't.
Oh, yeah, I thought you rolled that. Sorry, my bad.
Sorry, I did not roll that. I rolled a 10, which is over enough. In fact, I rolled an 11, but it doesn't matter. All I do is because of the arcane ability on the water Lola, the only thing I do is add books and burst to damage. So
Burst is 2 damage.
burst is 2 damage, book is 1, so I just dealt 5 damage to that water
And-
Lola.
Something to note.
Not too bad.
Like early game, it might seem kind of negligible, but like mid-late game when you're fighting like water Lola, you might be doing like 1,000,000 damage otherwise, but Arcane reduced it to
3,
3. Yeah.
There you go.
1, 0.
Yep. And then I'm going to use my fight drives once per encounter ability to make another attack. So hopefully I can kill one of these guys. Nope.
Miss.
That's a nope. But that's okay. Now my turn is over and I'm done.
All right. I get 3.
That's fun treading water.
We're kind of in the way.
That's all right. That is all right. I'm gonna use my once per encounter ability to gain 1 more SP. So I'm maxed out. I'm gonna spend 1 to move. 2, 4, 6. Spend 1 more to go 8. And 1 more to go here. I love to jump.
It's a big jump.
It's a huge jump. But this is the
Does
jump
Rook
that
give you an assist there from that space?
Yeah.
He will.
It's adjacent to the one he's leaving.
He's got 6 strength to my 4 agility.
So that would be a 10, 12, 14, 16.
So I would need
Agility
a 6.
16 check.
So I need a 6.
That's not bad.
It's not bad. I think I can do
Because
it.
what's your agility plus his strength?
Before you. So, what's going on?
I can't make the jump. I want to make that jump.
He's 1 action point shy.
I'm
And you
1
already used that
action point
MF Fortitude.
Yeah.
That's too bad, because you probably could make that jump with Rook there.
Yeah.
Fly over that gap and slay some water Lola. Next turn.
Yeah.
If Rook's alive.
No, you can move it. You could do that.
Is it me?
I could jump?
No, you could move through us. It was these movement penalty. I guess detriments don't stack. So when you move through a player or through like water, they don't stack. So it would only cost 2 movement points to move out of the
So I
space.
could, I like being here.
He doesn't want. He wants you to get hit.
I want you to be alive so I can make that jump and feel amazing.
Okay. Well, Remy still can go, and
wanna
maybe
feel real good about
maybe
myself.
she'll move out in front so that I don't die.
Okay, I'll
Of course, you have 4 damage, so actually, it's 6s. We have the same amount of damage to do, but
I don't feel
just
bad.
to make things
I was
interesting.
ahead of you.
So I'm gonna heal myself using the
then you move
vitality
back.
that's
drink.
true. It's true.
Discard your adjacent ally. Heals 3.
But you gotta throw those.
So I'll heal
knives,
3
so-
damage.
Oh, your juice box?
Yeah.
Nice.
So do that. You have 1 damage on me.
Vitality drink. He just healed himself with that.
And just for fun, I'm gonna try something. I'm gonna spend 2 SP to fly.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4. Spend another 2. Another 2. I'll move right in there
Ooh, nice.
You're dead.
just to
Thank you.
see. My conviction is
Good luck.
decent.
Oh, you got the. Oh, it's gravy, guys. We're good.
Also, I don't know if I explained it, but you can. Flight allows you to fly over the dangerous terrain. I've been doing that all game. I don't know if I actually explained that you can do that.
You
but
can fly
you
over pits, yeah.
You treat all
Unless it
spaces.
says
You
as-
ignore everything while
Yeah.
flying.
So,
Yeah.
the water lows are going to activate a little differently this time now that I'm next to them. So we'll see what they do.
It will.
This little heroic lineup coming
casting,
down at
sorry.
these
That's what they
I'm
some water Lola, man.
Yeah.
I'm expecting him to die.
Yeah, I'll probably die. I wouldn't normally do this, but I want to just try.
Well, I mean, worst case scenario, you get annihilated. You guys will probably still win the encounter.
Okay.
I think we'll win.
So we're going to start at the top of this
Probably.
track again. Is there a figure with an SOI with an effect? There is not. Is there more than one opponent adjacent? No, we just have one opponent adjacent. So we're going to go to this third one. This is their signature ability. Is there an opponent within SOI? There is, and it's Remy. So I'm going to cast a spell with my casting dice.
So there's actually multiple ones within a SOI, right?
Nope.
Nope.
Nope, just one.
Just one.
Yep.
Just one.
Those is rum dog, dude.
He's
So how does this ability work?
taking
This
one
is
for
a
the
spell.
team.
This is a legitimate spell, right?
This is a
We're casting
legitimate
now.
spell.
Okay, cool.
This isn't just my Cruar added stuff. This is the.
So it'll be a spell 6 plus the casting die that they have, which is
Yeah.
a white.
It's
It's
a
printed
white
on their
dice.
card.
Yep.
So he'll roll that and add 6 to whatever the result is.
Yep.
And you will have to make a check to beat that, or bad things happen. A conviction check.
Yeah.
If you don't beat it, you're just gonna get. It's called the. Called. What do they call it?
Tidal Bolt. That's what it's
Yeah,
called,
it's called
on the.
on the,
Oh yes.
If you're at the command side, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that even?
5. Okay.
So
11.
It's an 11. So
And
we're
it's
looking at a
tidal.
magic value of 11.
Oh, that's
So-
right. You can turn into a water loa. Huh?
Yeah, you
have any
can.
conviction upgrades?
And you
Yeah,
can
so my
shoot water bolts.
conviction,
Yeah.
That's right.
if you want to.
Oh yeah. Sorry. What did you roll?
I rolled an 11.
You rolled an 11. My conviction printed on the card are 2 purple here.
Okay.
I have a conviction upgrade on my exquisite core, which will replace one of these with a white, which is slightly better. And I'll see if I get blown up. I have to beat an 11.
Need to meet an 11.
9. So what does it do to you?
So I failed.
So you failed. So it's going to do 2 plus the difference rolled in damage.
So 4.
So it'll do 4 damage. Since the difference is 2, add 2, he takes 4.
So at least that spell, and there's at least one like it I can think of in Cruar.
Yeah.
It can be very swingy in Middara because your target can roll minimum, and the max damage is really, really high.
Yeah.
I'll go with.
Also, because that
I guess the
that
average
landed,
damage tends to be
Wait,
Oh
the
yeah.
same, but the max damage is out of control.
does that do water? I thought it was only the attack.
Doesn't it?
No, anytime it hits or affects with. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So this will turn into water.
And that's a passive ability that just anytime water low are hitting people, they replace the space that they were on
With
with
magic.
water.
Yeah, with the spell.
Even with their standard attack, they do that, don't they?
Yep.
I don't know if
Yep.
you guys have forgot to do
we've
that.
Definitely been forgetting to do that.
Yeah, you guys just
I think that
No,
we've,
we
they've been
will-
getting attacked in water.
Yeah, we've always been in water.
Perhaps,
so
yeah.
It has not mattered. Also, anytime a water token is placed, it's not affected by the currents. So even though it's next to the current, it's still not.
Yeah, tokens are never affected by currents.
Okay.
Unless they say otherwise.
It could mean that you can't dodge an attack though. So that's,
Yeah, so it's bad.
rough.
All right.
All right, so that was Waterloo in number 1, and now
Yep.
we're doing Waterloo in number 2. Same thing.
See if I can survive.
No, this is much worse.
12.
Well,
12.
it's not much worse, but it's.
So I gotta
It's
beat a
worse.
12. Luckily, I have a flip on this exquisite core when making a conviction check. Pass a conviction check. So I could just pass this straight up, and if I fail,
Well, can you do it after you fell?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's at any
it's a
time,
flip.
Right?
So
It just says when making a conviction check.
Oh, yeah, when making.
Does that count? Okay.
You'll do
that's why I did that.
You'll be fine. No,
So I
you
failed horribly.
That's
I
bad.
So
mean, I
how much
rolled a
would that do normally?
I rolled a 5, so that would do
The difference plus 2?
So
7, 9?
9 damage.
That
That would
would-
probably just.
That would have
kill
killed me.
Yeah, and magic damage, that deals magic damage,
It
right?
does deal magic.
Spells deal magic damage. In Middara, we have physical damage and we have magic damage. And physical damage can be reduced by armor. Magical damage cannot. So
So I'll flip this, boom, and I pass the check, and I'm fine.
He's not dead. And that is the Waterloo.
This is an awesome item, by the way.
Yes, it is.
One,
That's why.
one of you,
I
one
wasn't
of you
worried.
guys should take it when you play the game.
all right. That'll certainly make this encounter easier.
Yeah. For sure. All right. So.
Now it is Nightingale.
Yep.
All right, 3 SP again, and I'm gonna use 2 and it's just attack here.
I think we can kill him.
I'm gonna shoot number 1.
Yeah, super close to being dead.
Oh,
What do you roll?
5.
5.
I want Knight to do
Not
some
enough.
damage.
That's all right.
Nightingale's just been kind of floundering. Been healing at least.
I
Yeah,
will
keep
use
us
my
alive.
other SP to heal Clayton's Rook.
So there's no like in Middara. I'm not sure if you guys have been reading our updates or whatever. I'm just gonna assume you haven't. There's not like traditional classes. You use these discipline cards from 5 different trees, and you can pick and choose as you level through the game. It's a point by system. You can spend your experience points however you want. So anyone can heal, anyone can cast Fireball, anyone can summon monsters or use a longsword or whatever.
And you can do it all at the same time too.
You can do it all at the same time if you,
You build for it.
if you build for it, yeah. It's, but at the end of the day, yes, like you typically don't, mid-game, you won't just have like one guy who can heal. And we try to avoid having like one dude whose only job is like he just sits back and heals every turn.
Yeah.
That's lame, so. Though I guess you could build to just like, heal bomb.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
totally.
Yeah, that can be really fun actually.
Rook's up.
Oh, that's right. I am up. Cool. Cool. All right, I gain 3 action points. I unexhaust all my stuff.
Remember, you want to come back to the space you're in.
Oh, that's true.
You'll-
I'll
you'll-
spend 1 action point to move, so that I can be within range to attack, and that's spend 2 movement points. I'm gonna stop my movement there though, so that I can make a trick shot, which lets me make an attack. Purple dice. Alright, so I just need to roll a 9 because this will give me an extra 1 to my roll. Not roll a 9. So then I will spend.
Not roll average.
I'll spend 2 action points to make just an attack with my hand crossbow and light shield. That'll hit. Sweet. So I will do 3 damage because I rolled 3 books.
You are sitting. It has 1 life left.
That's depressing, but c'est la vie. And then at the end of my turn, this happens.
Current pulls you back.
Yep.
All right, so it's my turn. And I'm going to attempt.
That jump,
A
that
jump.
aforementioned jump.
This is going to be.
So since Rook is adjacent to him when he's trying the jump, he can boost him over that. He can boost Zeke all the way over this. So Rook will be able to hopefully.
Yeah. So it's.
So it's a 10, 12, 14, 16 check.
Yeah.
Agility check.
Need to roll a
But he can
6.
add Rook's strength to his agility, which, what does that equal?
6 is Rook's
I need a
strength.
6. So he's got a 6 strength and I have a 4 agility.
Okay. So you need a 6, yeah.
I need a 6.
You got,
If
got
I don't
10
roll a
right now.
6, I'm half
fall.
bad.
We'll cut the video and start over.
Oh,
Got a 6.
6 exactly. All right. We don't have to start over.
1, 2,
That's
3,
nice.
4, 5. And I can
Slay
Quite
her.
a jump.
I can do the thing.
Nice.
All right, so
Means next time you can go from. Not that it would be any better, but
I'm going to stab
could
her.
flank. I mean, but
Oh, yeah, I could fly there.
But it doesn't really help you with damage.
Yeah, that adds 3.
No,
Adds 1 to your chance to hit.
add 1 to your chance.
Could add
The
3?
Arcane.
No,
Arcane.
Oh,
no.
arcane.
Yeah.
That's right.
All right.
You can flank it, it increases your chance to hit, but it doesn't.
Oh,
add
no.
anything.
Nice. So I will do 1 more.
But I do have blind eyes, which is
You rolled the same thing.
Maybe you
why.
throw your dagger.
Oh, yeah, throw
I'm
your
gonna throw
dagger.
the dagger.
That kills it automatically, doesn't it?
It does.
It only has 1 hit point.
Because it only has 1 hit point.
And
Oh,
throw
I
is a
don't
purple
do
dice of damage. So,
This thing.
Is that number 1?
so you'll also see that you can do a lot of things on your turn in Middara. Between action points, equipment, flip abilities, per and counter abilities, disciplines you have.
Nice.
And matter of fact, if you build a, how many times can you think you can attack in a single turn if you build for it in this game by late game?
Ooh, nice. 7 gold.
4 or 5.
Gosh, how
4 or 5 a
wealthy are
turn.
we, man?
Doing good.
14 gold and a unique loot.
So,
Maybe not a turn.
Pretty good.
Which is 25.
but you can do 4 or 5 in a single turn.
Yeah, in a single
Plus
turn,
we got
yeah,
the
you
10
can do
gold.
4 or
and
5.
we got the 20
That's a
gold.
lucrative
We got all the
run right there.
golds.
Yeah.
This is
So Remy's
Nice,
turn.
that's
I'm going to try to
awesome.
finish off this guy. This one has full health, right?
full health.
Actually, I don't think I've made an attack yet. So, you guys can see on
Well, you
camera
did
how
blow
much.
that guy up.
That's
did.
true.
That's
Yeah,
true.
That
You
was
have
sweet.
it.
I'm still having
That
fun.
was
I just
totally
haven't
worth
actually made an attack. I just realized.
You did
So
kill
now's
a
the
guy.
time. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
two, 2 stamina points to make an attack. Now my Warhammer has 2 white dice and a black dice. So
Dude, we never even explained the black dice, like as far as like empowering an attack goes. I guess we
Yeah,
did.
we did.
Oh, we did. Yeah, the animate. Those are the same thing. It just so
just
the Warhammer gives him the black dice for his attack, which gives him more symbols, which is great against something with arcane because it will farm more damage.
Everybody can empower
But
though.
anybody can empower an attack for an additional SP on any attack,
Yeah.
regardless of where that, like on
symbols.
disciplines that give you those attacks or whatever. So
More
So I'm
symbols.
gonna attack.
More
Let's see what I
symbols,
get. Pretty good actually.
Just,
Not very good.
It's not very good because of arcane. So it's a good roll.
It's 3.
oh, no, yeah, it's 3.
Yeah. So the crit and the book.
So that's
yeah. So
3
here's a
damage?
perfect example of arcane kind of.
So here's something that I might want to do actually.
you can reroll.
So I have hammer helm.
Maybe
should I attack again?
You can reroll the
I think you should
black.
reroll
You,
the
can-
black.
you can do both.
Both these.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
so I have hammer helm, which is great for
'Cause you can't
these
miss
this kind of build.
if you reroll the 4.
Yeah.
'Cause it's
So the bonus to physical damage does him no good because of arcane on the water Lola, but this exhaust will let him reroll any dice of his choosing.
I'm gonna keep the 7. That's really good. I'm gonna reroll these.
Yeah,
It's a little better because I have a book here.
So
Yeah.
4
So I did 4 damage.
4 damage. Great. And then you can attack again, can't you?
I can, and I will. I'll attack again. Okay.
Wonderful.
Let's see that. So that one I missed 4, and that doesn't
Should
matter.
have saved the hammer helmet.
I know.
It's alright.
It's hard to say.
Hard to say. Hard to say. Alright, water Lola.
Water Lola is going to do the thing.
Who's it gonna do it again?
So we actually tie
For conviction of
for
rage?
conviction. I'm higher on here, so it's
Yeah.
going to go after me. Somebody want to roll against me?
I'll roll against you.
Who's
I
it
need
white?
I need a white die. Hopefully I won't blow you up.
Alright.
11. Okay. I have a white conviction upgrade as well. And
no.
that's not great. I rolled a 5, so I take 8 damage.
Are you alive still?
Yeah, this is the first damage I've taken.
And
So
you
I
got
have
some water.
4 left.
Oh man.
But that's all.
Alright.
All right.
Kill this guy.
Need a big play.
Alright, Nightingale, time to
Time to man up. This
Have
is
a
your
shine.
double man up.
Okay.
Do the thing.
Okay, well, it's within range. I can heal somebody. Unfortunately.
What are you using, a bow?
You can only heal me.
He's the only one I can heal.
It's fine, just
Just hit it with your bow.
okay, save them in.
I need the white dice.
see
You
some
could
damage here.
you could spend that action point to roll the empower
The
die to get
empower.
more symbols.
Yeah, let's do that. Five. Ouch.
See Mike do damage.
This is a this is a ninja Lola.
Rook.
Alright, back to me. I'll grab my 3 action points and exhaust my trick shot. Spend an action point to move so I can be within range. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
So in a campaign, it would be really bad if someone died with gold.
It sucks so bad.
Yeah. So
All the really good gold. Yeah, 7's the highest.
Alright,
Yeah.
so I'm going to use
14.
trick shot. And because I have a higher chance of actually hitting when I use trick shot, I'm going to empower the attack making trick shot. So I'll spend an action point to do that. Hope I roll big. I did.
Not
Yeah.
bad.
So that is a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 damage.
Nice.
That's got 2 left.
Alright, here we go. Last
tag it
Finish
again.
it off.
again. Let's see what we can do here.
No.
No.
And
Unfortunately, that's not gonna work.
that's a negative.
And then, boop. Correct.
You're asking me to kill the guy off, huh?
You can get one more flank in if you want.
Yeah, you could.
Just really
No,
just
well,
end
I
with a
mean,
bang.
I don't think I want that.
You could like just jump the pit for just
Yeah,
funsies.
jump the pit and die.
Lose your 7
Lose
gold.
your 7 gold.
You could just go out of the exit.
I think I can
Bad shit.
I feel pretty good about just killing
I'm almost out of space on my phone, so the exit seems like a pretty good.
it. I want the gold. So I'm gonna
Okay.
move 2, 3 here.
Alright.
I'm gonna attack him. Her hit the androgynous water Lola. Alright, I need a 9.
Oh yeah.
That'll do it.
Boom.
And I did 3 damage. So the
Excellent.
water Lola is kaput.
And that's the end of the encounter.
Well,
Somebody's got to get to the exit.
So I can spend. It'll be my turn, and then I can
And-
just.
That matters because some encounters don't end when you get to the exit. Sometimes they'll
Yeah.
place new tiles or
So I'll fly the exit.
who knows.
And we'll win the encounter. So
Bravo.
good job.
we reached the win condition, which was an adventurer ends their turn on the blue exit. Now what we do is each party member gains 1 XP. We'd all get an XP for that encounter. And then we continue to into the gloom, page 38. So you just continue on. And this would just put you into another encounter setup, and you'd set that up and play again.
Yeah.
Keep going.
Cool.
So that's
And
the
then
gameplay
eventually,
video.
yeah, eventually you'd get to a buy round or a story round where you can spend XP and gold to buy new gear. How many disciplines we got? 110. These?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, something like that. I think there's 110 total cards. We have doubles of. No, I think it's like 110 different
I think
abilities.
it's 110
it's like
abilities.
Yeah.
Well, there's 7 level
There's a
1,
lot.
level 2.
By the end of the game, you'll probably
The unintentional.
end around like 6 to, I don't know. Depends on your build, I guess.
Yeah, it depends
you
on
can
the
have
build.
quite a bit.
You can end with 5 if you
Depends on the build, yeah.
find it.
Yeah.
Because the higher the level the discipline, the more XP it costs.
165.
Well, that's total cards, yeah. I think there's just 110 different abilities. So, yeah, and you can see the different schools here.
If I was better at math, I could tell you right now.
Yeah.
This one's
Excel,
my favorite.
Excel's for.
Yeah.
Assemblage is cool too. Nobody's playing with assemblage, but
Yeah, no one's playing something. That's like summoning and turning into monsters and that sort of thing.
it's really cool though.
Cool. All right, guys. Thanks for checking out our video.